Hi, I'm Kelly from Kelly J Jewellery, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this moon crescent pendant. It could be made for a man or a woman. Because I haven't got many curls, I had to add one little curl. I do like curls. I shall add plenty of curls on the next one. So it's made using a moon crescent stone, and it's quite a noisy video this time with the trains next to us. I've put a list in the description below of everything you'll need to make this. Also there's links to affiliate links to all the tools, and there's links to my website. There's a link to the oxidize video that I did if you want to oxidize your piece. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. To make this pendant you'll need 0.8mm wire, that's 20 gauge, and I've cut 5 lengths at 10 inches, that's 26 centimetres. 0.315mm weaving wire, that's 28 gauge, and you'll need about 500 centimetres. And you'll need a crescent moon shaped cab for this one. Mine is 40mm by 27mm on the widest part. You can use any size crescent moon shape. Just remember to adjust the wire lengths and the repeats as you go. I'm going to add a few links in the description below. I've got a few friends on Facebook who are selling this type of stone at the minute, so I'll put their details in the description. Tools, I'll be using my favourite pliers, round nose pliers, wire cutters, and I'm going to be using nylon pliers, but if you don't have these, don't worry because it's not important. I've put links in the description below. If you're thinking about buying tools like mine, these links are affiliate links, which means that I will get a percentage if you buy through the links that are on there. These tools I recently purchased and I'm really pleased with. They're Tronex. They are really fine and they're really nice to use. I got the extra fine bent nose pliers, and I bought the shorter nose round nose pliers. And the cutters, these cutters are lovely, because I found with my old cutters it was leaving a little bit every time you cut the wire, but these do get in a lot closer and they're just really well made and they're lovely. So check out the links below. Oh, and I've put a link from the old trusty Beadsmith nylon pliers on there as well. And I think that's it. Let's get started. We're going to start weaving about 4 inches from the beginning of your wires. So take all 5 wires, that's 10 centimetres, and we're going to start weaving there. Weaving over all 5 wires, up 3 times around that bottom wire to attach. Then we're going to go around the bottom 2 wires, so we'll go over that second wire, come up between those bottom 2 wires, over the next 2, so I'm going over the 3rd wire, up between that 2nd and 3rd wire, over the next 2, so I'll go between the top 2 wires, and then between those 2, so I'm going between the 3rd and 4th wire, over the top, and then back between the 3rd and 4th wire, and around the 4th wire completely. Then come up between the 2nd and 3rd wire, and we're going to wrap around that 3rd wire completely. Up between the 1st and 2nd wire, over the 2nd wire, so we're wrapping around that one completely. Then we'll come under the bottom wire, wrap around that bottom wire. I must apologise for all the noise around me, trains and people today. So that's one repeat, and we're going to keep repeating that quite a few times along here. So I'll do another repeat of that with you. Around the bottom 2 wires, up between those, around the next 2, and then up between those 2, around the next 2 wires, so that's the 3rd and the 4th one, and then between those 2 wires, over the top, and back between the 3rd and 4th again. Go over the 4th wire now, so we've wrapped the 4th wire. Come up between the 2nd and the 3rd, I'm going to wrap around the 3rd wire. Up between the 1st and 2nd, whoops, I'm going to wrap around the 2nd, and then wrap around the bottom wire. And keep repeating that for a while. Push your repeats together as you go. So I've done 18 repeats of that weave. And you make sure as you go in, you keep pushing that weave together. Keep it nice and tidy. So if you've got a smaller or a larger stone, then you'll need to do more or less repeats. It needs to be about that long to the size of your stone. So now we're going to bend the weave. I'm going to gently bend it. I want a nice even curve, and you want it to match the curve of the stone. Like that. So that's how big your weave should be to your stone so far. I'm going to cut off that tail end, give it a pull so it's nice and tight first. So on this side, I'm just going to wrap a few times around that bottom wire and then cut that wire as well. This is going to be the tricky bit. Now you have to hold your weave very firmly to your stone. You don't want that to move. I'm going to take 2 wires and we're going to bend those this way. We're going to take the 3 wires, we're going to bend those the other way. Like that. We want these wires, getting that weave back central again, we want these wires to go right around to the front, and these 3 to go right around to the front as well, like that. Looking at the front of the pendant, we want these 2 wires to scoop around like that. We want these 3 wires, I can hold my stone in place at the same time, to also scoop around like that, so they're all sticking down. That's what we want. You want all the wires facing down. So that's the back. We had 2 coming one way, 3 going the other. Pull them around to the front, so they're hugging onto the stone quite nicely. And we've pulled them all into the one direction. I'm going to do a little weave across this to hold them all together. Separated my wires out a bit so I can see what I'm doing, and we're going to go 3 times around that top wire. That's just to attach our weaving wire at the minute. Then we'll go around the 2 wires. We'll do that twice. Then I've come up between or over the next wire, trying to hold it all flat. Go around that second wire, so we're wrapping around those middle 2 wires now. I'm trying to keep them flat next to each other. We'll do that twice. And my stone keeps sliding out as well, so you have to hold all that still. And then coming up between the top 2 wires, go around the 2 that are now on this side. Go around those twice. Coming straight over the top. And we'll go around those top 2 wires twice. Coming between those top 2 wires, we go around those next 2 twice. We've got judge bells now. So now I'm here. So now I'm going to go around the middle 2 wires again. That'll hold it firmly together. Coming up between the middle wires. Go around the bottom 2 wires twice. Coming up between the bottom 2 wires. Go around that bottom wire 3 times. So we've just done a zigzag weave just to hold it all together like that. And I'm going to cut that weaving wire there. Cut that weaving wire too. And close. Make sure your stone is pushed right in there securely. Oh, and I've trimmed the weaving wire off the first part. We're going to take these wires back around to the back on both sides. So 3 go one way, 2 go the other. Scoop it around and then bend it around the stone, and you want to pull it quite tight so that it really grips onto the bottom of the stone there. So that's what we've got so far. From the back, again making sure your stone is pushed nice and firmly through, because if it slides back it's going to be all loose in there. So push it right through as far as it'll go so far. We're going to take these wires and we're going to secure them. Keep them as flat as you can. Keep your stone in as you go. We're just pulling them around each other, and then we're going to cut them off quite short and finish them off there. My stone's just fallen out. Push it back in. So I've twisted them around like that. Cut them off quite short. And these 2. Take your round nose. Scoop them around. Grip onto the wire, and I shall flatten that down with my pliers because it's sticking out a little bit. So I'm going to have a play with this and then I shall come right back to you. So what I've done there is I've curved these ones around the 2 wires, and I've curved the 2, I'll show you with all these wires, around the 3, so they're all tucked under, And so can we just finish this off like a little knot, I suppose. And you don't want it to pull too close because then the stone won't fit through. So on the front now, we've got this shape so far. And my weave has moved a little bit with all the wrestling. So I'm just going to reshape that to fit there. Oops. So that's what we've got so far. To correct the position of your weave so it follows up the stone and all your wires are coming out the top there. What we're going to do now, similar to what we did to the bottom, we're going to take three one way and two the other. Holding it all firmly in place because we don't want the bottom to move there. Take your 3 wires and bend them over the front and come straight down and then scoop them to the side. With your 2 bottom wires, and make sure your stone is in place where we want it to be, and bring those directly up and then scoop those over too. And we're going to do what we did down here. We're going to attach this same little weave just to hold it all together. So I need to bend my 3 wires up a bit. My 2 wires need to meet it like that. Separate the wires a little bit so it's easier to get to them. We haven't got much space at the top of the stone, so we need to do it as close to the bottom there as possible. So you want that kind of shape. And we're going to copy this. So because we started here on the 2, we need to start here on this 2 to do the weave across all of them. So we'll start with 3 wraps around the bottom wire. To attach the wire. Then we'll go twice around the bottom 2 wires. And we need this weave to be more over that side. And then you need to come up between those bottom 2 wires. And we'll go over the middle 2 wires. We'll do that twice. And go between those middle 2 wires. You need to keep pushing it over that side. Go around the next 2. Do that twice. Coming up between, oops, those 2. Straight over the top. I'll make sure my wires are still flat. And go around those top 2, and we do that twice. So now your wire needs to come between the gap there at the middle and go over the 2 wires there twice. And come up between the bottom 2 wires. Need to push that weave right over. We'll go around the middle 2 wires. We'll do that twice. And come underneath the bottom wire. Go around the bottom 2 wires twice. And then around that bottom wire 3 times. Finish it off. If you have any problems with any of these weaves or anything I do, please ask in the comments below. I do try and reply to everybody on there. So that's what we've got so far, and I'm going to cut the weaving wire off at both ends. So that's my finished thing so far. I've got my pliers in there to flatten out that weave, and I've managed to push the weave along a bit. We're reaching in there and pulling on these 3 wires because you want it to be as central as possible, really. So when you get to this stage, you want to take the wires back around to the back. So these 2, pulling it quite tight so it holds it all quite firmly, right around to the back. And then the top 3, keeping them held together so they don't cross over each other, because you want to keep it as tidy as possible, and bend those straight down over the back, gripping onto the stone like that. So now we've got a totally secured stone. That's the back. My weave went a little bit close to the edge there. That was wrestling to move the weave, as long as you can't see it from the front. That was the plan. So I've crossed these 2 over, so the 2 is at the top and the 3 is at the bottom, and try not to let the 3 cross over each other. I'm going to take the 2 down and the 3 up, and holding it as firmly as you can so it grips onto that stone. I want the 3 to curve around, so just have those facing straight up. And these 2 that come down, do what we did at the bottom. So I'm gonna bend those around, and I'm gonna cut them short and wrap them around those 3 wires. So we've wrapped them around quite securely, and I've pulled them together, and I'll try to pull it over a bit so that you can't see it from the front. And I've pulled all 3 wires over to the right. I was going to make a little bit of a curly bail on here so we can attach our jump ring, which I forgot to mention earlier. You're going to need a little jump ring. Any size I think will do. I've got a little one here, about 8mm outside measurement, I think. So now I'm going to weave across these, and then scoop it around to make a little bail on the back. So now we're going to weave across the top 2 of the 3 wires. So attach your weaving wires, my dog moaning, attach your weaving wire to the middle one. You want to go 3 times around that one. We'll go 5 times around that one. We do a slightly different weave on this one. So I'll slip that right down to the base of the knot. Then we'll go around the 2 weaves, the 2 wires twice. We'll go around that bottom wire again 5 times. Then we're going to repeat that about 10 times so we can have a nice big loop. So 5 wraps around the bottom wire, and then 2 wraps around the both wires, and keep repeating that about 10 times. So I've done 10 repeats of that little weave there over the 2 wires. Just cut that little tail end off there. I have noticed I'm talking exceptionally quiet today, so I shall be sure to turn the volume up on the video. And it's quite noisy here today with all the trains. So we're going to take this weave, we're going to bend it around. Leave that wire where it is, but make sure it sits towards the front of the stone as you go round. What I do is I just put a finger on the front to support it, so I can curve it around. So if we turn it to the front, got a bit of a hoop there, so we need just to level that up a bit. So we can attach a jump ring to it. I'm going to pull it over a little bit, like that. Then I'm going to take the bare wire and I'm going to follow it around. So it follows the shape. It sits on the inside of the shape a little bit. I'm going to add an extra curl into that, just to be awkward. Because I haven't got any curls in this pendant, and I do love all my curls. So that now reaches to the back there, and I'll attach it to the weave. Just wrap the bottom two together a couple of times, and then around that bottom wire 3 times just to finish it off. And then jump ring will go through the top there. Bit of a different one for you today. Just need to cut that weaving wire. So that's the back so far, and that's the front. I've decided I'm going to finish these wires by cutting them, pushing them behind these two and just curling them around here to finish them off. If you want to carry them back around to the front, you could add some extra curls around here, then that's entirely up to you. I'm going to trim these here and post them through so I can finish them off there. So I need them to be about that long. And this may misshape the curl a little bit. Just need to make sure I can get in there first. Find a little gap. And then I'm going to take, because I've joined them together, I've got to take them all at the same time. Push them underneath there. I've really been squeezing the stone. I'm amazed I haven't broken it today. So now I just need to get my shape back of that curl at the top there and pull those around and down there. And then I should grab these wires and curl them over these 2 wires. keep checking that you haven't misshaped it too much, but that should secure it quite nicely. I'm going to trim them a little bit more. And curl them around to finish them off. So they won't catch on anything. There we go. A simple moon crescent one, but it is quite a handful to make. Quite a wrestle in places. Hope you managed to follow this tutorial okay, and I didn't mumble too much. And I'm going to oxidise this, and I should come straight back and show you the finished piece. So I've oxidised it, and this is the finished thing. I added my little jump ring on the top there. If you'd like to oxidise yours too, I've put a link in the description below, because I did do a video on how I oxidise my copper. And I hope you found this tutorial useful, and please check out the links in the description below. And thanks for watching. Bye!